Welcome to another episode of the CLIMACO podcast. Today's guest is the owner of the third largest sandwich chain in the world, Robert Cvetkovski. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Cvetkovski. It's a beautiful last name.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Robert.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you.
This is the CLIMACO podcast.
Robert, I am very, very curious to know how you began your company and how it turned into this huge thing.
Yeah, great question. John Smith Subs started almost 40 years ago.
Wow.
By a guy named John Smith. And I bought the company about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And the reason I bought the company is I went and ate at one of their places. And
any relations? No, right? No.
No relations, accidentally walk into one of the locations in Miramar Beach, Florida, which is in northern Florida.
Yeah.
I ate a sandwich and I said, wow, this is amazing. So when I found out the company was for sale, I did my homework, and we have the same DNA skill sets of what I call the disruptors in the industry today are, which if you look at the burger world, Shake Shack is dominating the burger world versus Burger King and McDonald's, and Five Guys is doing the same thing. Chipotle is doing the same thing to Taco Bell.
Right.
So the dinosaurs that we grew up with the price-sensitive, low-quality food, that era is ended.
Yes.
And the DNA that you need to have in today's QSR world is fresh food, quality product, sourced correctly, and it's got to be priced right, or they think something's wrong with it.
Right.
So when I looked at John Smith, we have a scratch kitchen. So all of our chicken, all of our steak, it comes in and we butcher it in-house.
That's great.
So we butcher the chicken, the steak, we marinate it, we portion it. Everything is touched by a human.
Got it.
And cooked to order.
Was it always like that?
At John Smith, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So they were at 9 locations 2.5 years ago, and in 2.5 years, upon purchasing the company, we've grown to almost 50 locations around the country. We're in 16 countries. Canada has a commitment of 500 locations over the next 10 years. So we've grown dramatically.
That's incredible. What were you doing previously?
Prior to that, I was in the hotel business. So I owned hotels in Isla Mirada, Florida, in Hutchinson Island, in the Bahamas, pretty much any type of destination, resort area type of places. I own hotels, marinas, a lot of nightclubs in Miami Beach. Food and beverage is really my
hospitality,
thing.
Right?
Hospitality.
Yeah. Was it a chain of hotels or just individual?
No, they were all boutique.
All boutiques.
Boutiques.
It's very incredible. How'd you get into that?
I got into that in early 07, 08, when the market crashed.
Yeah.
And a lot of hotels were having trouble. So I was taking all the restaurants and I would turn them around. And having my office next to the revenue manager and the hotel operations, I really learned what they're good at and what they're bad at. So when I got in and I boutiqued my properties, most of my properties were sold out a year ahead of time. I never looked for end users for my rooms. It was a matter of, and with technology these days and geo-targeting and geofencing and all the what's nots and what's, it makes things easier. But just knowing the data, I would apply that to my hotels and we'd be sold out for 12, 18 months at a time. Our guests are a year and a half out.
It's incredible. What do you think gave you that eye just to know how to navigate? Because you can come into an industry and learn it, right? But it could take you a while to have the eye to know how to set up things, all the little details, right? Where do you think you got that that one-dimensional vision to be able to say, oh, okay, that's what I want. That's going to make money. That will be able to allow this hotel to be sold a year out.
Well, you always start with the end and work it backwards. So, I always work it backwards from
What the end goal is,
what
right?
the end goal
Yeah.
is, and we start there today and work it backwards. So I know what's happening, and there's a vision, and then I put the vision on paper, and then I connect the dots. And not always is it going to be as smooth as you think.
Right.
You stay the course and persevere, and eventually you get to the finish line. But I love to travel and I love to eat, so I'm a consumer. But the biggest way to learn is to learn from your guests.
Right.
So I pay attention to the negative feedback, and most people take that as a negative when they hear somebody
Right.
complaining.
Take it
I take it
personal.
as a positive.
100%.
Because I'm learning something from
Yes.
you for free.
Right.
Actually, I paid you. You paid me, and you're giving me negative feedback.
Yes.
That means you actually care about me.
Correct.
Because the ones that don't say anything, they never come back.
Right. They want you to do better.
So I would listen to all, as my office was right there, I would listen to the issues that they would have. And they're easily fixable issues. It's just, they're so minute that your average owner or management team constantly overlook it. Like towels and just
Right.
it's the little things that become
That
big
matter.
things,
It's
you
true.
know?
It's true. Tell me, I think this is mostly a curiosity question, but what are the steps that are required? What is the conversations? What's the procedure that's required to take a company from 9 locations to over 500 in one country? How does that happen?
Well, a vision, obviously, and,
Right.
and perseverance. And I think a lot changed from, my predecessors that sold me the company is they use salesmen to close these deals. Well, I'm the one that, from the journey of meeting the brand, I am the first person they meet, the person that sells them the franchise, the person that trains them,
Wow.
the person that shows up on opening week, the person that's part of construction. So I believe that a lot of these deals were close because they invested in me. They want to join my journey. So it was a lot easier to grow knowing, hey, not only is the CEO here, he actually comes, he's part of the training. He does it. I come and open up the stores. I stay
Wow.
for 2 weeks after we open up the stores. And then they text me every night, and I'm involved as if it's my store. I treat every one of our franchisees as if, I'm a partner in that business.
It's amazing.
And I love what I do, though.
Right.
And what makes things gratifying for me is getting people to stop trading labor for dollars. So every time I sell a franchise, I'm turning them into an entrepreneur.
For sure.
And to me, that's more gratifying than anything because you might actually work more than you did at your job.
Right.
But eventually, you look back and you'll be so further ahead.
Yes, because you're building something, right?
Yeah.
Where do you find the bandwidth?
Yeah, that's a good one. There's time, it sounds
Because
pretty
as
easy.
you were talking, I'm like, wow, it's a lot of stores for you to be at every single opening, for you to be at every single construction.
Yeah,
How do you
so
find that bandwidth?
My kids help me.
Great.
My family
That's awesome.
helps me
Yes.
out. So my kids are
Is it a
trainers.
family business?
Yeah, so my kids are, they do the training.
That's awesome.
They show up with me to help do
That's
the
great.
openings. They're also involved in sales, so they do all of the sales calls and help try to. They're equally involved in the business as I am.
That's great. How many
And
kids do you have?
3.
3.
And so that takes a lot of pressure off of me because
100%.
and I still come, even though they're coming.
Right,
in and doing,
right,
I
right.
come to the trainings. I come to the openings because I actually like to see what's around the neighborhood, so we could start to see where the clientele is going to come from, catering jobs, how to connect to the community.
Got it.
Because my kids are going to come in and they're going to teach them, how to slice the meat, how operations.
Right.
But there's another component to business. Is
For sure.
It's beyond unlocking the doors. You got to be a community leader.
Yes.
So I kind of like to see where they're at and then see how much, we have to give them to kind of be out there in the chamber meetings and the networking and all of that is what makes or breaks your success.
What was your upbringing like? Where did you develop this leadership skill, this drive that you have? How did that grow?
I've been in restaurant business my whole life. You know, my parents own restaurants, so that, you know, they put me on the dishwasher. They put me, you know, so that and the hard work. Eventually, you decide to, you know, learn from
Right.
the right people. You know, you dial into the people that are doing things and expanding, and you kind of learn how to quantify the way they're quantifying.
Right.
And then it becomes easier, and then it's all about, you know, human capital and self-improvement. You know, you got to have that energy, because if you don't have the drive,
No.
you can't play the game.
You do not. No, 100%.
You can be the best person. You can be Michael Jordan, but if you don't have the drive, you're not making the baskets.
That's right. How beneficial do you think it was to have entrepreneur parents?
Very, you know, hard work. That's where the perseverance training comes from.
Yeah.
The long days, the multiple 7 days a week, you're sacrificing.
Right.
To be an entrepreneur, people don't understand. You have to sacrifice somewhere, or you're sacrificing constantly.
Constantly.
Even if
every single day.
Elon Musk today, multi-gazillionaire, people don't understand what he sacrifices.
Oh, yes.
To keep doing what he does.
His son. Have you heard the story about his son?
No.
His son is transgender.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Does not speak to him. Hates him. Does everything against his father.
Wow.
Could you imagine that? Yeah. What a price to pay to be Elon Musk. Have your son not want to talk to you, or your daughter now, right?
Sure.
Insanity. So I agree 100%. Entrepreneurship is a daily grind that if you're not mentally prepared, you will collapse.
But a job is a daily grind too.
But a job, you have more guarantee, right? It's people know that all they have to do is complete their tasks.
The bare minimum.
The bare minimum. And they'll get their paycheck.
So it's like going to the gym.
Yes.
And hitting, you know, number 2 on the treadmill every
Exactly.
single day, and never going past number 2.
Right.
You never
Just
want to see
collecting
it
your
go to
paycheck.
10.
Right. Entrepreneurs are consistently at a 12.
Yes.
And having to juggle and dodge and manage while they're doing it, you know?
Agreed.
It's not for everybody. Did you take over your parents' restaurants at one point?
No, I opened up my first business at 18.
Okay. Which was what?
I opened up an ice cream store.
That's awesome.
So I dropped out of college and I opened up an ice cream store, and then I got into the restaurant business, and then from that I went into the hotel business, and business is the same model.
Yes.
You could be in hospitality, you could be in healthcare, you could be in construction. If you understand how business works, and it's all relationships.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the customer is a relationship. That's why the customer repeats.
Right.
The supplier is a relationship. Everybody is a relationship. So if you understand the relationships you're building, you could go into any sector and build a business model.
How many businesses have you built, would you say?
150.
That many. That's incredible. Most people don't build one.
No, and I get friends and family going, "What's wrong with you? Why didn't you keep this one?" I'm like, "Listen, when I went into this, I knew the exit. I knew the date I was selling it. I knew how much I was exiting for."
That's incredible.
And there was no, I want to keep. There's no emotional attachment to it.
Straight business.
Straight business. But John Smith, the exit is, I'm not exiting. So when I went into this,
This one you're keeping.
yeah, when I went into this, I just felt like this can become such a monster that there's so many components to it that there is no exit. The exit is my grandkids, hopefully
Wow.
running it one day.
Yeah. Who is your biggest competitor today?
I would say my biggest competitor today is probably Jersey Mike's.
Okay. How would you compare yourself to Jersey Mike's?
They are amazing at cold sandwiches. We are amazing at hot sandwiches.
Got it.
So 85% of their business is cold sandwiches. 85% of our business is hot sandwiches.
Got it.
They try to sell hot sandwiches, but they're doing it the old-fashioned, historical dinosaur way.
Got it.
And we dominate when we're known for the cheesesteaks and a high-quality hot sandwich cooked on a grill. We call it the thrill of the grill.
The Thriller Grill. That's incredible. Is Subway in that mix for you or no?
I wouldn't even call Subway as a competitor,
Okay.
just because a Subway consumer is a price point consumer. They're not looking for quality. Even if they got quality, they're not going to be happy with it.
I understand.
They're looking for what they're looking for. So we tend to, that's not, we could never convert a Subway guest. But we can convert Jersey Mike's guests, and we can convert Firehouse Subs guests, and we can convert just about all the rest of them. But a Subway guest is really, it's built on the old philosophies, like the Little Caesars, the Domino's.
Right.
The Subway, it's the historical, people went there because of the price points.
Right.
They don't even care that it's fake tuna or
Right.
fake meat or fake
For
anything.
bread. Yeah.
But you go to a Shake Shack, that person knows that patty was made there. They probably know what farm the burgers come from.
Right.
The storyline in the consumer is different, and that consumer will never go to a Subway or a Taco Bell, for instance.
Can you describe your avatar? If you had to say, like, this is the ideal person that will buy from us, who's that person?
Well, our avatar is anyone that goes to a Shake Shack or a Five Guys.
So someone who is looking for a quality sandwich in a more gourmet type of an environment.
Yes.
Right. Not that fast food chain idea.
Yeah, because we're not even fast food. We cook it to order.
Right.
So it takes a little bit longer than you would get at any other fast food chain. We put the food on the grill as it's ordered. So it's like a sit down restaurant. All of our stores have hoods and real kitchens, kitchen equipment, and fryers. So another thing that's different from us and everybody else is we sell fries. So instead of giving you a bag of chips, you're getting a cup full of fries.
That's awesome. Tell me who your mentors were growing up. Who, clearly your parents, but who other than them helped you navigate this entrepreneurship world?
I would have to say, I read a lot of Elon Musk, a lot of those guys, and Bezos, and you read their stories, and to me, their stories is how they had a vision. They had a vision to start with. They dropped out of school because school prepares you to work.
Yes.
Turns you into a laborer.
100%.
Because if you look at all the entrepreneurs, they all dropped out of school.
High school dropout.
Half a semester in college. But they all drop out of school. Yeah. So growing up, I would just I wasn't really paying attention to the Amazon story. I was paying attention to the decisions he made in the early stages that pushed him on that path. And when you look at all of them, they all dropped out of school. They all had a vision of bigger things.
Yes.
And they all wanted to change the world. They dreamed big. How are you going to dream big when you have a job that's 8 to 10 hours a day that teaches you a task
So
and you have
hard.
to follow it all day long. Your dreams are done.
And you
So
leave
that
there.
inspired me to constantly focus on the big picture.
Did you ever hold a 9 to 5?
A couple times.
Yeah. What'd you do?
So I did, when I opened my business, all my friends became engineers, and they're probably going to watch this and go, I can't believe he's telling the story right now. Hey, so they became engineers, because I lived in Michigan, so that was the thing. You go to
Right.
college, you work for General Motors.
Detroit, yep.
So we start going to Monday night football games, and they're talking all this college lingo around me. The few 2-3 words they learned, and I'm looking. They're looking at me like the black sheep now because I'm the business owner that probably makes 5 extra zeros next to. They're probably never going to make those zeros.
Yeah.
But they're looking at me like I'm the black sheep. So I go get a job at General Motors in the basement where you clean up the eraser marks.
Okay.
A year later, I'm in charge of the General Motors platform in the Corvette at $200 an hour.
Wow.
And showed it to them, showed them the checks, and I looked at them and I go, perseverance, my friend, perseverance, and the ability and the desire to achieve. And I kept that job for 2 years, but it was just more to prove to my friends.
Hold on.
I don't need to be the engineer. And I go, by the time you guys get to these checks, you'll be 70.
Wow.
And I learned, so when I was there, I paid attention. I learned and networked, and I said, well, what's like the most important job here at General Motors? They're like, well, we have this private room where it's called Class A surfacing, where they teach you how to create the data in the computer by dots and mathematics.
Wow.
So after hours, I would go there, and I became friends with the 50 people in the company that only knew how to do that.
Wow.
I became friends with them, and they taught me all that. 3-4 months later, like, we can't let you go now. We need you to become part of the team because you know too much. And it would be like, imagine so the Corvette that's out now, I worked on that like 25 years ago. At least, the lines, the math,
Yes.
But I didn't like the job. I was never a job guy.
There's so much to unpack there. I'm going to start by, you got a job for 2 years to prove your friends wrong.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I kept both jobs. So I kept my business that I would go to work to. After my 9 to 5, I would go sell ice cream.
That's incredible.
7 days a week.
Where does that drive come from? To prove these motherfuckers wrong. It's incredible.
Proving them wrong was one, and then two, it's like going to the gym.
Right.
So mentally, you have to go through stages in your life so you could persevere.
Yes.
So what it did for me is it made me stronger. And while I was there, I opened up 2 more businesses. I decided to teach people what I knew how to do, and I opened up a CAD class.
Wow.
Where I'm teaching them how to use the computer and design on the computer because nobody was doing that. So I had so many other business ideas that could support General Motors. And so I was doing all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to go global, and I wanted, my goal is to get people to stop trading labor for dollars. When you become an entrepreneur, you buy your freedom.
For sure.
It might be harder, but you own your own freedom. To me, owning my freedom was the only goal I ever wanted in life. The ability to decide what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, with whom I'm going to do it, at whatever point in time I want to do it. You're in totally control of your life. Versus a job, you wake up every morning, I got to be there at 9. They tell you when you could go to the bathroom. They tell you it's
when you
all
can
day,
eat.
all day.
Yeah.
And then by the time you retire, you get cancer. You got another 5 years if you're lucky. Meanwhile, I mean, every 2 days I'm on vacation. I'm going on a cruise on Saturday. I went to Key West 2 days ago. Every 3 or 4 days, I move and I travel and I do my thing, but I still work harder than ever.
How old were you when you realized that you were smarter than most people?
It wasn't that I'm smarter than most people. I don't believe that I'm smarter than most people. I realized at a young age that you have to kind of dial within. So you kind of gotta listen to yourself. You know, the gut thing that everybody talks about.
Yep.
So I tell everyone's like, how many books do you read? I go, I've never read a book in my life. I go, why would I want to read that person's point of view? I go, I want to read his journey, how he got to where he got. But
Right.
we're all different anyway. So even if I copied him, there's a 90% chance that I'm not going to get to the same spot as that person
Right.
did. So I don't like to read books because it puts parameters on your thought process. You got to really dial into yourself and listen to yourself and dream big. You got to put those visions in your head, write them down, work them backwards, and don't be afraid. And even if you fail, that's nothing to be afraid of. Failure is a lesson in life. It's the college education that you didn't get.
Right.
And it's just preparing you for when you do succeed. You have to fail to know what it's like, too. If you don't fail, you don't know what a failure feels like.
Right. 100%. I think failure is the most necessary tool. I think it was Mark Cuban who said it. Build the business and fail fast. The faster you fail, the faster you'll learn, the faster you'll get up again and keep moving. So I agree with that 100%.
I agree.
Have you, in the beginning of your entrepreneurship, did you have a hard time dealing with failure, or was it always understood within you that was just a lesson for you to learn and move on?
There was a period of a conversion from what my parents instilled in me, which was the broom in your hands and hard work,
Yes.
to understanding the potential to put people to work and the potential to grow in many places at the same time, to quantify in a 3D or 5D or that was the most difficult transition because your parents teach you hard work
Yes.
with the broom in your hands.
Right.
With the broom in there's only one broom and there's only one you, so how are you going to grow?
Right.
You grow with a team. You know, it takes a team to grow the business. It's not just you. So like that transition was the most difficult and what kept my growth until I understood how to get out of that.
I always had a dream. I watched Ocean's 11 for the first time. I think it was 07, 06, something like that. And I go, Mom, I want to own a hotel. I want to go into hospitality. For the next 2 years, that's all I spoke about. I was gonna go to UNLV, and I was gonna apply for their hospitality program. But God wanted other things for me, and my life went a completely different way. But originally, that was my dream. What was your first hotel? What was that like? What within you made you want to start being a hotel owner? I think it's so interesting.
Yeah, so I was on the beach and my cousin's listening to some podcast by this guy named Grant Cardone.
Okay.
You know, and I don't know who Grant is. You know,
Uncle
I don't
Grant,
listen, I don't read stuff. I don't listen to stuff, and he's just constantly going, "You got to hear this," and I'm like, "Give it to me." And out of the whole podcast, all I heard is, "Grow out of your box and 10x your life." And I'm like, man, he is so right.
Yes.
Because all I was doing before I heard Grant talk, in fact, he wanted me to go on his show and tell this story, and all I heard before I heard that podcast was I was closing restaurant deals. So I was putting a limitation on who I can become. I knew how to run restaurants. So
Were you comfortable? Is that why?
I was comfortable, but
Yeah.
I also never thought I could go above that. So I listened to this podcast. I listened to Grant, 10X it, don't be afraid, go outside your box, blah, blah, blah.
He cracked your frame.
a month later, I closed a $10.5 million hotel deal
Wow.
and don't even know how I'm going to pay for it.
Wow.
I closed
Incredible.
the deal. I raised the money.
Was that your first time raising money?
That was my first time raising money. Before that, it was like what your parents taught you. You know, go borrow from the bank, use your own money.
Right.
You know, don't go above your head. Here I am jumping from, you know, owning, you know, $250,000, $300,000 restaurants to an $11 million deal.
Wow.
To the point where I have it locked up and I don't have a dollar to my name.
Wow. What did you do? I'm so curious.
I checked into the hotel
Okay.
on social media. And I get a call from a friend going, hey, man, my dad has got money up the wazoo. You know, he's burning a hole through his pocket. Can we invest in this? I'm like, well, listen, I don't normally do investors,
Wow.
but we'll take the deal. I took the deal, and I 10X'd the property within 5 years, sold it out. I mean, and once you do one of those deals,
It's addictive.
and multiples of millions of dollars just start floating your way, it changes everything.
Right.
I mean, Grant Cardone, to his credit, he helped 10X my life.
Wow.
In fact, he lives next door to me in Sunny Isles. I see him at the Starbucks all the time.
It's a great flex.
Yeah.
What a great flex right now. So hold on. What you just described is a great, great, great example of you having faith. Tell me, what is your relationship with God?
Phenomenal.
I can see that. I can see your level of faith, because for you to go out and to make a deal like that, not knowing how you're going to pay for it, and then someone coming and asking you, can I invest in your business? That's you and the universe meeting in the middle.
Yes.
You did your part, and the universe opened that door for you to allow you to continue.
You kind of got to let the universe know what you need.
Yes.
So now I'm just like this. I need more. I've tilted it like to an extreme level. You know? But to an extent, you have to have the faith, and I believe in God, and again, I have a direct connection with Him. You have to have a one-on-one with Him.
Yes, you do.
I don't need to go to church. I don't need to celebrate figures, any of that stuff. I have a direct connection with Him, and my journey is in His hands.
Amen. Every single day.
But they're still waiting for us to kind of give them a hint.
Yes.
What do you need?
Yes.
They don't know what we need. So I'm like constantly in the need, I'm always needing something.
God, I don't want to seem too needy, but I need.
I look at can this slot crack, please? And I cracked the slot for $30,000 at Hard Rock.
Really?
Yep.
Look at that. How much you put in?
It was like $100.
That's great.
Yeah.
What a great day.
No, I mean, so you got to have a high, you have to have a high connection with whoever your God is, Your spiritual connection has to be there. You have to understand your journey of life too.
Yes.
So I will not accept that part of my journey. That my journey of life is not here to trade labor for dollars.
Amen.
I will work 24 hours a day at my own business before I go work 24 hours a day at somebody else's business.
Growing up, were you always expected to be who you are today? Did people think that you would be this person, or was it a total shocker that you became who you are?
I expected to be who I was.
Right. About others?
Others, probably a total shocker, but I was a guy that was cutting lawns on everybody's lawn, and I was the lemonade stand guy. I was always monetizing.
Got it.
At a young age. That was just, I had a thrill. Like all the other little kids would play baseball. Me, I'm thinking about how to monetize everybody's lawn right now. How do I get, and I would go door to door and shake hands and meet all the ladies and the people. And so I was always, that was what intrigued me versus sports or anything else.
That's incredible. Were you a business major?
I dropped out.
You dropped out, but what was your major?
I only started like one semester.
Got it. So there was no major.
So when my parents saw me going to college with ping pong rackets, because I was organizing ping pong tournaments.
That's awesome.
Because for me, I'm like, listen, you got to turn this into fun.
Yes.
Why does learning have to be so
dull and boring? Yeah.
You get ping pong tournaments going. People are excited to come to school now, right? So
that's great.
when they saw that I was having way too much fun with it, they're like, no, we're not going to support this anymore. we're done with this. We believe that you should be a businessman.
Really?
Yeah. So they kind of pushed me.
That's incredible. Good parents to see that and pinpoint that and guide you the right way. Not allow you to waste 3 more years wasting money that you didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I wish I would have been there because I look at all the fun that
That's
I missed
true.
out on.
That's true.
The relationship building. Like
That's
I tell
true.
everybody, listen, I'm not negative on school, but go there to build relationships. Because those relationships that I have from grade school, from college, we still call each other. And they're the first ones that'll come help you when help is needed. So you go to school to create relationships.
What school did you go to?
Which one? I mean, college?
The college, yeah.
Macomb. It's a community college in
Michigan?
Michigan, yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, even when I took a test,
Right.
I'd draw a Christmas tree. I wouldn't even look at the questions because I just thought this is not for me.
It's hysterical.
Yes,
I know what you mean. I walked out of my computer science finals. It's not for me. Literally got up and walked out. Done.
What's the point?
Yeah.
It's
wasn't for me.
historical data
Yeah.
by somebody that's been sitting behind a desk for 40 years or 30 years or how many years.
Right.
What are they really teaching? Are they really preparing me to go out in society?
No.
Nothing.
Give me a
Zero.
class on taxes.
Yeah.
Give me a class on how to live and go shopping and how to be an adult, you know? How to be a parent. Give me a class on that.
They have that, I think. I took that class. That's how I took the class.
So speaking of that, I have 2 young boys. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. What are some tips that you can give me to start introducing them to my businesses and to entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's a great question, and my middle child, since he was at that age, he has been at every hotel opening, every restaurant opening. So just have them just be around it.
Be a part of it.
Let them see with their own eyes and ears, and eventually it becomes inside of them.
Yes. I actually brought my 4-year-old here as I was building the studio. And as we were driving back home, he goes, "Daddy, I want to have my own studio one day." I was like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you will. Don't you worry. Yes, you will, buddy." It made my day to see that, that I can have that kind of influence on him. It's great.
That's awesome.
It really is. Robert, I know you know the answer because in the beginning, you told me that you re-engineered it and you're looking at the end goal. What is the end goal for John Smith's subs? I know that you're not selling. I don't mean that being the end goal. I mean, where do you want this company to be? How do you want this company to be viewed? Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15 years?
Well, I want to be the #1 sandwich chain globally. That's the end goal. I want the company to grow globally and put as many people into the entrepreneurship seat as possible. That's the end goal because that makes the company stronger than ever. And if I can lead the pack, that becomes a self-gratification that no dollar can ever succumb.
That's incredible. And you know what? You're going to do it. Just from what you're telling me, you are such a driven human being. I don't see anything stopping you. I just see you being able to envision it, think it, and create it. Almost like automatic manifestation.
It's not that easy, but
No, I understand. But you've built an energy and aura around you that it's not that hard either.
no,
Would you agree with that?
no. You have to have the drive.
For sure.
You have to have the aura and the energy.
Yes, 100%.
You know, so sometimes I tell everybody people, places, and patterns create opportunity. So if things are not happening for you, it's because you're always around the same people.
Yeah.
You're doing the same patterns. You're going to the same places. So why do you expect a new outcome? This is why every 2 days I'm on an airplane shocking my system with different people, different places, different patterns. So life is moving quicker and getting me to the end goal of where I need to be. You kind of got to help the universe as well. But if you sit there and do the same things with the same people at the same places, why would you expect a different outcome? It's going to give you the same outcome in life because that's how life is. Opportunity comes when you didn't expect it.
Right.
When you did something you weren't expecting to go to or be around. So when you know that formula, like I take it to extreme levels with that formula. Like I play with that formula. Like I sit there and slap it around.
I can tell.
That formula's afraid of me.
You're very friendly with it. Why do you think so many people are stuck and aren't able to do what you do, what we do?
It's comfort zone. It's doing what they were taught. You know, so they were taught, hey, you work and you retire at so-and-so.
Right.
You know, it's they have ceilings. I really can't, I could not picture myself doing something like this. How would I do it? Where me now, there's no ceiling. I've brokered $500 million deals.
It's incredible.
And I'm not afraid to swim in them.
Right.
You know, so.
And that takes, doing smaller deals.
Yes.
To get to that level.
Just knowing it's all the same. It's just a matter of preparing for the time when it comes, being ready for that opportunity. If you're not ready for the opportunity, and then also understanding you may not be ready for the opportunity, but if you don't take it when it comes, it's not coming back.
Yeah.
So now I grab everything. It's like a net. I just throw the net, and then, I bring it in, and because there's times where...
How does your wife feel about that?
Everybody in the house has learned that this is how Robert is. So they're like, all right, we know we're going to have to come in and back him up right now.
Yes,
He's
Dad's
putting more
going
on our
fishing.
plate right now. He's going to put more on our plate because we know we're going to have to be the support team with the next thing he comes up with.
That's incredible. You must have an amazing family environment.
Yeah, it's good.
Because you guys all work together, right? You guys all have that one driven family goal. Do all your kids work for you?
Yeah.
Do they manage different portions of it? What do they handle?
They do different things, So my oldest, he does more of the tech support, anything to do with IT. My middle one, he does more reputation management and franchise sales.
Got it.
And my wife handles all of the anything that has to do with receivables and back-end office support.
Got it.
So they kind of all have their own lane, and they kind of, they know what they're supposed to be doing, and we really don't intertwine.
That's great.
We know whose desk it falls on, and everybody, does what they're supposed to do, and I'm trying to put more on their plates.
Do you think you guys all working together, do you think that's strengthened your relationship as a family?
Sometimes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. It definitely strengthens it, but it also, there's times where, hey, when somebody falls short, it's not good at the dinner table.
Right. Because not only are we family, but we're a company, we're a business.
Yeah, so that we've all kind of learned it, and we all know each other's tolerances too.
Yes.
So everybody knows how to the speed
navigate,
of how to push the buttons, what not to push. We've all learned each other, but we have our corporate culture is what we call it.
Are you a routine-based person?
No, I don't do nothing routine.
Nothing routine.
No,
I can see that.
I wouldn't even go to the same coffee shop. My friend that meets me for coffee every morning, he has to call me at 7 a.m. every morning and go, where are we meeting for coffee today?
Wow.
Because I go from the Starbucks in Sunny Isles to the Starbucks in Hollandale to the Starbucks in Surfside. Because you got a shot the system.
He's a very good friend.
Yeah. This morning he's like, which one are we going to? I go, Aventura, I'll meet you there.
I'm curious to know how that's been for you, just because every other fucking business book talks about routines and blah, 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 and this and that. How have you been able to navigate and have such success without having such a dedicated routine?
Well, see, a lot of those books, they put you in the quarterback position, but you just don't know it. So when you have to do routine, that's great advice for the person that wants to own one business and nothing else. But when you want to do multiples of things, you have to empower people, you have to train people, and you have to have the law of attraction know that things are getting done for you. So when you get into routine, the outcomes are always the same because it's called routine.
Right.
I don't want the outcome the same. I need more business. I need more everything. More everything means there's no routine in nothing. Because the outcome is I want to grow, I want this, I want that. You want things happening.
Yes.
So if you want movement in your life, think about the word movement. There's no routine in movement.
Nope.
It's like a river that's constantly moving.
Yes.
So that's what your life should be like. If you want to grow, if you have a journey.
Right.
And I'm not knocking. Some people are happy with the one job they have, and
Right.
you know,
To each their own.
yeah. That I have a journey. Like I have a mission, and I want to grind it all the way to the end and enjoy it. I want to enjoy the ride, but my river has to flow. If my river's not flowing, I get depressed. I don't even care about the money.
Right.
I want more things happening, more things to do.
You're so unique. You really are. You're very unique.
That's a good word.
I love it because it's so difficult to meet people that are on the same frequency. You know, because most people are day to day, 9 to 5, you know, they're happy. They go out, they watch their movie on Friday nights, they go to their restaurants, you know, they live their little lives. So I built a therapy agency for kids with autism based out of New York. My wife and I do it together. We've been doing it for about 7 years now. We help children with autism in home and in school. So I have a team, a staff of therapists who go in school and in home to help with the behavior, modifications, guidance, learning, all that. And as I was building my company, I have 2 good friends who their wives are also therapists. And they came to me and they asked me if I could help them also build the company. No problem. So I began every Saturday, we would come together, the 3 of us, and we would sit and I would exchange information, tell them what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, you know? And 7 years later, they're still in their 9 to 5, and I've built a multi-million-dollar company. And I've always wondered, you know, like, why couldn't they do it? Like, why? I was handing everything to them, like mouth chewed, how to do it, where to get it done, who to talk to. Like, it boggled my mind that they could not do it. Eventually, I had to learn that it's not for everybody. It takes a certain character, a certain discipline, a certain drive, a certain vision to be able to accomplish these beautiful, wonderful dreams that we have in our head, you know? And meeting someone like you who is so driven and has accomplished so much and sees no limits, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome.
Have you done any business with Rising Tide Car Wash?
No.
They're out of Broward, and
Yeah?
They provide jobs to autistic kids.
Really?
Yeah, so he was my neighbor, very wealthy guy from New York, and he has a son that was autistic. And
That's awesome.
We're in his hot tub one day, and I go, they just didn't understand how to deal with the autistic kid. And I go, John, God's blessed you, man. You got all the money in the world. I'm like, but you're missing it. He goes, what, Rob? I go, man, why don't you turn that into a blessing? I go, maybe you're here to impact society, and this is why he gave you a child with autism.
Wow.
And it's a blessing. I go, why don't you take all this money you have and go turn it into a social ecosystem for people with autism?
That's incredible.
And he leaves the hot tub, opens up the first car. He's on number 4 right now.
Wow.
And he's like, they put him on National Geographics. Like they're like and they only hire kids with autism, and they're part of the ecosystem. And now he's building homes for like
That's
kids
incredible.
with autism. It's a whole.
If you can, please do, because my 2-year goal is to build a school here in Broward.
That's what he wants to. Well, he wants to do the school with the housing.
Incredible.
And his kids, like, they'll walk 10 miles to get to work, man. They're so committed.
They're so committed. They're such wonderful people. They really are. They just need understanding. You know, they need human beings to understand that they're a little different, but there's nothing really wrong with them. They just view the world differently. You know, their brains aren't wired the way our brains are. There are some neurons that don't connect and others that connect too much. Correct. Right? So they see the world from a completely different lens. And my agency helps merge the two worlds, right? So they meet in the middle and they're able to have a fulfilled life within our world, society, whatever, you know? But I need to meet this person.
Yeah, very good people.
That'll be a great connect for me. I appreciate that.
He's involved. His wife is involved.
That's great.
His older son is now running the company with them.
That's very cool. I love that.
So we brought the family together, and they have a journey. They have a mission now.
That's beautiful. So my plan is to build a school in 2 years and to open up a sister agency here in Florida. Currently working on that.
Cool.
Yeah. I think being an entrepreneur provides so much freedom that I think a lot of people don't know how to handle that freedom. There's that too, right? Back to the routine. Everyone's so used to their cookie cutter routine that you gain all this freedom and all this money and you fuck it up. You have no idea what to do with it. But I actually love it. I love the freedom. I love the opportunity to be able to grow, explore, fail, try things out, and just see what I can create. I think creating is so important. I love to create.
Well, we're here to create.
Yes. But not everyone understands that.
We're not here to be the robots.
Yeah. Most people are, though.
They are.
Most people are alive but not living. Right? They're on autopilot, automatic. And it's just, got to step them out. Robert, I want to switch focus. You are a very successful person. What is your current view of America? Where do you think we are? Where do you think we're going? And do you think the future is bright?
Well, the future is always bright. Politically, I really don't get involved. I tell everybody I've done well no matter which government was in power.
Right.
I focus on me. I watch it every day for entertainment.
For sure.
For me, the television set is like going to Facebook. It's just entertainment, but I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm not going to pay attention to what is being said. Where am I at today is what I focus on. Where's the people around me at today? And I feel that our best days are yet to come. As in the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen, our country here kind of shift, but we've dominated the global sector since inception. We were formulated to be the bully or whoever they call us to be. We were bred to be that. So why would they get rid of that all of a sudden? So I feel like going into the next 4 or 5 years, more jobs will come back, new jobs. I mean, you can't be afraid of change.
No, you can't.
What happens if robots take all the jobs at General Motors? Well, somebody's got to program the robots and fix the robots. So we're gonna evolve like the times evolve. We can't be afraid of change. But we're no longer gonna lift the tire anymore.
We can't be farmers forever.
Yeah, so I think we're evolving as a nation. I feel like a lot of these nations already evolved far fast. I mean, we talked about China earlier. I feel like China is so far ahead of us in technology.
So far ahead.
We've dominated because we own technology.
Right.
We don't own technology anymore.
No, we don't.
So
I think we own the social part of technology, but not the actual technology itself, right?
yeah.
Like Facebook, Instagram, right? We're more on the software, social, interactive side than the actual hardware itself. Yeah. That's all Taiwan, China, South Korea.
So, I mean, I think we're in a period of time where the world as we know it has shifted. It started to shift 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And if we look at the historically, it's always going to be better. It has to be better. I mean, if you look at where your grandparents were 100 years ago and where we are today,
night and day,
they would trade positions with us in 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And just like us right now, 100 years from now, we would probably change positions with our grandkids in a heartbeat. So we can't be afraid of change because change brings opportunity. But all of the political blah, blah, I think eventually the dust is going to settle.
Yeah. And we'll cool off.
Yeah, it has to. It has to. But right now, if you pay attention to it,
oh, it's very fiery.
You're stressing out. You see, I don't pay attention to it. I mean, I entertain myself with it, but I don't pay. It's not going to affect me one way or the other. I mean, the last 4 years, it was one administration. I did well, and the 4 years prior to that, I did well too. So my wellness is based on me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's based on you. If
I
I have
agree
to
with that.
swim and pay a little more taxes here, things might change, but at the end of the day, I'm still the quarterback of my life.
Right.
But so do I feel like we're going to churn into China? I don't hope we don't. I don't think, that would be pretty extreme.
Yeah.
That would be pretty extreme. But I feel this next election, things will happen and things will settle down. And I think the next 4 years are probably one of the most important 4 years going for the American future.
I've heard that a lot lately.
I really think the next 4 is going to dictate the next 50.
Wow.
For business.
That's a big deal.
For where we are economically, politically. I think what you're going to see a lot of change. And it doesn't matter who wins.
Right.
Republican, Democrat, whoever wins, you're going to see a shift like you've never seen. And it could be good, it could be bad.
Right.
But they're going to change everything. That's just the way we're in. This is why we're here on this jersey. We chose to be here at this time.
For sure.
So we should not be scared, shocked.
Right.
We chose to be here.
Enjoy the ride.
We signed up for this.
Yes.
So for
enjoy
me,
the ride,
I'm going to
baby.
be on the cruise, enjoying I'm going to enjoy it until they tell me I'm locked up at home.
I like that. One quick question about AI. What do you think about AI, and is there a place for AI in your business?
I love it. That's who I talk to every day now. Is like, hey, give me the answer to this. So AI has become. I don't even talk to my lawyer anymore. I call
Really?
I call I text my AI, and AI will give me the legal answer, and then I'm gonna call my lawyer up and go, what do you think about this? And if he's not as close to that AI response, I will check him. So AI, I would not be afraid of AI. AI is amazing.
It's amazing.
You know, the ability to get the answers from a collective string of
Knowledge,
facts,
yes.
You know, well, we know it as facts. We don't know if they can manipulate that yet or not.
Right.
But I use it a lot, you know. In fact, my kids, we were having last night over the dinner table, you know, we were having a discussion over the election, and I'm trying to explain to them that there's 10 million more Democrats registered in the country. And he's like, how do you know that? I go, ChatGPT. And he checks it, and he goes, he knew. I go,
That's
so
incredible.
let me tell you the secret right now. You know, there's 10 million more registered Democrats than Republicans. So do you realize that for Republicans to win, you need a low voter turnout, which, even though they have 10 million more Democrats registered, I went and asked ChatGPT, well, what's the percentage that voters that turn out? It's 60%.
Wow.
For Democrats. So a low voter turnout equates to a Republican win.
Yeah.
So this is what right now, the battle between both sides is the voter turnout. But at the end of the day, Republicans don't have enough. There's 10 million short.
I did not know that. That's really interesting.
Oh, I even broke it down to swing state. I was bored, so I'm like, I go, give me the swing states, how many Republicans are in, how many Democrats. Man, it is so margin of, this is why they're calling it a 49-49, because there's statistically only, this is a matter of a couple hundred votes in the swing states based on registered voters.
Wow.
But when you look at it, based on that data, that's bad for Democrats.
Yes.
Because that's saying it's a dead heat if everybody voted. Well, we all know only 60% of your people show up to vote. You lost the election. You know, so I pay attention. I'm a numbers guy, so I'm constantly looking at that. And my kids were testing my knowledge. I'm like, man, I ChatGPT, buddy. Go back to school.
Who do you think wins? Not who you want to win. Who do you think wins?
I think Donald Trump is going to win the election. Based on, I've already done all.
Yes,
all,
based
all
on your
research.
numbers.
Yeah. Based on my research, I am not paid by any campaign. But based on the research, I think Donald wins. But do I believe that they're going to hand over
Power back to him? Yeah.
Power back to him? I don't think so. I don't truly believe whoever wins the next day, I think we're going to have mayhem.
Really?
With the
so
opposite
November
party.
6th.
With the opposite, whoever the loser is going to be like a loser you've never seen before.
Wow.
Somebody's going to cry wolf, cheater, every name in the book.
Right.
Nobody is going to be like, let's unite the country.
Right.
I feel like we're about 2 weeks away from that right now. And I think that between now and January 19th, we could have a lot of turmoil.
Do you think there is something that can unite the country?
I think that the leaders of some of these parties have just gone too far left or right. See, back in the days, it was like we had ground rules. When George Bush and Ronald Reagan, and they talk about all these people, because I followed politics. I always wanted to go into politics. So I followed politics as a child. And back then, even though that was an opponent, they treated it like a basketball game, man. You win, you lose, you shake hands, and it's over.
Right.
And then you unite the party, and you blend some of the words, and you try to capture some of their views and points, and like it was different.
Right.
Right now, the rhetoric on every side is pretty deep.
It's so toxic.
It's just I blame them both.
I agree.
It's just so deep that, look, it's okay to have a different point of view.
Yes.
It's okay. We don't have to hate each other over
Right.
it. How do we find a common ground? Nobody focuses on that.
And we have more in common than we think of.
Correct. And, I tell everybody, our country wasn't designed for the point we're at in our lives right now.
That's a great point.
We were designed for a majority rules country. Well, when it's a 50-50 partnership, you ever have a 50-50 partner in anything? It never works out.
Never works out.
Because nobody could lead.
Right.
Nobody can make a decision because both of you are in charge.
It's got to be 51-49.
Yes. And we were not designed for 50-50 or 51-40. We were designed for 80-20.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody knew who the winner was, and everybody knew that this is a country made up of 80% of this.
Right.
We're no longer that country. We're a 50-50 country, and the people that are the voices are the extremists on both sides. So it's very difficult to blend and find a common ground. But I think Donald is going to do a pretty good job if he ever gets
right?
Yeah, if he ever gets back in, and he focuses. If he focuses on his journey and doesn't focus on old vendetta and if he just focuses on, look, he's got
What's best for the country?
Yeah, so he got a second shot at this. He won again, and he gets to change the world. If he looks at the bigger picture of who Donald Trump is.
Right. Of how he can be remembered.
And, forget about Hillary Clinton.
Forget about all that.
Barack Obama.
Forget that. Joe Biden. And forget all that.
Whoever did you in,
yes.
let it go.
Yeah.
Go. You got 4 years right now. Go change the world for the next 100.
Powerful.
If he focuses on that.
Right.
If he gets drawn into, I'm putting people in jail and the whole, it's never, then when he leaves, the next group is going to come in.
Right.
And that's what all these other third world countries are.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Venezuela.
Brazil, my country, yeah.
Every time they change a president, somebody's going to jail. Somebody, we got to clean that. We got to, so I'm hoping that, he takes it serious, and he could do a lot. I mean, he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur.
Yep.
He's
a visionary.
He's looking at us from a business perspective globally.
Exactly.
No president has ever done that.
No.
Or ever had those DNA components. He could be very powerful if he sticks to that. If he follows into I gotta pay people back, and he gets wrapped into that, they're just going to start doing, audits and all that other opening investigations, and the
and it's going to be a repeat.
Lost.
Right. Right. Robert, I thank you very, very much for coming on the show today.
Likewise.
You are so insightful. You are so driven. You are so successful that I can feel the positive vibrational energy coming out of you. Like, all jokes aside, you are someone that I feel more evolved just being around you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate that. Please let everybody know where they can find you. What's your website? What's your business? How do they learn more about your franchise?
Yeah, you could find us at www.johnsmithsubs.com, and it's spelled JONSMITHS.com. And at any one of our locations. I mean, our website is probably the best place to find everything from all of our locations to, we even have a franchising portal where it would come to me. If you wanted to have direct access to me, you just go right to the franchising portal and I would get those emails.
That's incredible. I'll make sure to put a link to all that down below. It's been a pleasure. And I cannot wait to do a round 2 with you.
Likewise.
Guys, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Go check out John Smith Subs. Go get yourself a sandwich, and we'll see you guys next time.